Hello, everyone. It's Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps, and welcome back to this edition of Craps Chat, which will be actually episode number 8. And happy Easter to everyone that is out there. We certainly want to wish everybody, regardless of what you are celebrating this weekend, a happy Easter. We hope that you had plenty of time with your family and friends to enjoy Easter. We do have a couple of announcements that some people may not be here with us today. I know that John over at ProCraps said he had a commitment today on Easter, and I don't blame him. I was able to spend some time with my family earlier, got back here, got everything set up. We actually have several people in the green room that we're going to be bringing on here in just 1 second. So we want to let you know exactly how you get on the show. So how you're going to get on the show tonight is very simple. You're just going to go to the description below, the link in below this description on YouTube, and you can see the show there tonight, as well as the many other things that we're going to be doing here today. I see we've got some chats coming in here, so hello to everybody in the chat room. In the green room, we have Craps Master Journey Joe, we have Mike from On Point, and I have to look real quick to see if somebody else popped back on here. If you're in the green room waiting to be admitted, I am going to admit you. It looks like maybe we're going to be having Ed join us. I think Ed had some problems with some audio just a few minutes ago, and Ed is now in the green room. Roll to Win is with us too. Hopefully we will be having him join us in just a little bit as well. So back to what I was saying. To get on the show, this season 1, episode 8 of Craps Chat, in the description below, there's a link. Click it. It says Zoom. Go there. Join us. We want you. It doesn't matter whether you're a YouTube content provider or you are just a viewer and subscriber and love the game of craps. If you stumbled across the live feed tonight, hey, you're welcome in. Just come on in and we'll let you into the show. That is how you get to the show. Now, if you can't find the description, pop out there to the website, www.crapschat.com. Right at the bar where it says tonight's show, there's a link. It's a bit link. Just click it, and it'll bring you right there to the Zoom as well. Now, if you're at home and you're coming on the show and you're using a computer, whether it's a Mac iOS or whether it's a Windows, if it's a computer, guys, you got to have some headsets in. If you're on a tablet or a phone, regardless of iOS and or Android products, you don't need to have headsets in because the technology on both of those do take care of that. So, we got some people coming into the green room. First of all, I want to bring on my guest tonight. Hopefully, he was having some audio problems being able to hear from us. Let's bring on my good friend, my co-host, the creator of the show, Dylan. How are you doing, my friend, tonight?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm doing good.
I tell you what, now, it was 2 weeks ago. You put a scare into everybody, and you recovered. I should say you haven't fully recovered, but you recovered really, really well. And that morning, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell the story before because probably the people in the chat have actually heard this before. Last Sunday, or 2 Sundays ago, I was rolling with George and a bunch of guys over at the Live Fantasy Craps on Sunday morning. Just about done. I picked the phone up. I say, hey, Dylan, I'm in the middle of my last roll on Live Fantasy Craps. Can I call you back? And you were in dire straits. You said your wife was taken to the hospital. You kind of kept us, John and me, in limbo during the day. John came in and co-hosted from you. He's not here at the moment that I know of, but he came in and co-hosted with us, and the show went on. All the prayers went out to you. Lo and behold, on Monday, you had a procedure, and next thing you know, on Monday night, you're on Big AZ's playing craps. What was up with that? Did you get a kitchen pass? Now, that would be your wife, Joy. Did she give you a kitchen pass? Does she even know you did that?
She doesn't know I did that, no. But I had the room. I had the room to myself. I had transferred. I had transferred. I was okay. I had transferred out of ICU to a telemetry floor, and they were looking for a place to put me, and they couldn't find telemetry beds that were. All the telemetry floor was completely full, so they kept me in ICU, even though I didn't need to be there because I had passed all the major hurdles and stuff. And so, a room came open, and I was in there by myself, and I was, and there was, I was going, I got another patient came in there later, but for a short period of time, I had the room to myself, so I figured, I'm feeling okay. I'm just laying here in bed and I'm watching AZ, on my phone. It's like I feel froggy enough to play. I feel froggy enough to check in and say and say hey to everybody and whatnot and so just letting everybody know that I was alive and kicking and I Joy wasn't there. Joy was at home. So I was in the room by myself. So I just was part of my R&R, resting and relaxing. So I just got a good kick out of that, and everybody else enjoyed it too. And I wasn't in any pain, and I was just being well looked after.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's really great to see. I can honestly say that to be here with us tonight. I'm looking at the green room. We've got 6 or 7 people in. You and I talked earlier in the week. We actually played Friday night. We had a nice session Friday night on live over on Mid Atlantic Craps. We had a good session. You actually played that as well, and you were telling me that you have another procedure coming up. We don't want to get into the details. You're going to have another procedure
Yeah.
next Friday. Our prayers will go out with you for a speedy recovery, and then you're going to be 100% or close to it. Is that right, my friend?
Yeah, they say every time there's a procedure done with a stent, then your body takes a minimum of 3 weeks for it to to heal, quote unquote heal. So it's going to take me another 3 weeks after the second procedure to even get back to quote unquote par again because it'll take the wind out of my sails again. And then he says that after that, then I've got to do some cardiac rehab, so some exercise and so slow, steady, exercise to build stuff back up, and I'll be on a good path for recovery.
All right, well, that's good. We'll keep your fingers crossed. Well, this is Craps Chat. You are the creator of the show. I am the co-host with you. I facilitate everything here. I do everything. I've got the controls. I've got the chat. I've got everybody in the green room. And we have a few people in the green room, which surprises me for Easter. But we always say we never know we're going to have enough content to fill 30 minutes. And every episode has gone well over 2.5 hours. And last week we almost reached 3 hours. I think you and I did a show. I think it was episode 6, went 3 hours and 13 minutes. We're here tonight for everybody. Duracell, you put in the chat that Dylan's audio is a little high. I've turned that down, so please let me know through the chat to make sure that everything is okay. A lot of people saying hello to you, Dylan. Let's see if I can quick through here. Already, Midmo Yo's already put something out there. Let's see here. Put this one out here from Joe Ramus, and then I'm going to hit the old 300 Club. 300 Club, I believe we'll be talking to them in just a little bit. Here's another one. Oops, that's not it. Sorry, guys. They're coming in. These chats are coming in. Everybody wishing you well wishes. And I'm going to go switch from wishing you well wishes because you know where my heart is. You kind of scared me, and you're going to keep me up to date, or Joy will, on your procedure next week. And I'll be talking to you before you go in. So with that said here, I want to put a chat out there from Waylon. Hey, Waylon, glad you can join us. Happy Easter to you, my friend. And hopefully, see if I can get that off there. Sorry, I had both of them run at the same time, not monitoring the actual real screen, looking at the camera. So, with that said, guys, we're going to bring in our panel tonight. Real quick, I want to tell you guys, if you have a question that you want to talk about today, put a Q, a capital Q. I can sort through the chats that way. I can mark them in a special queue that I can go through. Now that's a Q for me. Capital Q, semicolon would help really because I put Q in the search, it brings up anything with a Q. If you have a question for somebody, capital letters, like if you have it for Dylan, or you just want to put skill, put in capital letters. Any of our panelists that I'm getting ready to introduce to you here in a second, also just use their top name and a question and we'll get to it and we will bring our green room panelists in here in just a little minute. We do not have a question as of yet to talk about as I flip through the already close to 60 or 70 chats that's come in here. So with that said, without further ado, Dylan, if it's okay, we'll go ahead and bring in our green room. Is that okay with you?
Sure. I do have a question for everyone once we get kick started. So let's say hi to everybody first.
Yep, let's go ahead and bring everybody in. And there is our green room panelists just bringing in. Just want to make sure that they are able to hear the audio and that we have everything coming through nice and clean. It looks like Mike's giving me the thumbs up. All right, so looks like we had some more in the green room. Where did they all disappear to? Um, we have Ed, Joe, and Mike. We had Vince Armeni, and we had somebody else in the green room, and they must have disappeared because they weren't paying attention. So I'm going to start first of all with let's see. We'll take the bottom screen that you see there first, and we will take a look at Ed. Ed, can you hear me? Okay. I have no audio on you, Ed. Give me just 1 second. It might be my fault. Just give me 1 second. I do not. Give me 1 second. I got to turn your audio on. All right, Ed. Now there you go. You can say hello. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. You hear me okay now?
I do. I certainly
Yep.
do. Actually, you're
Good.
overmodulating my ears, but you're fine, sir. Happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter and God bless everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm glad you could join us tonight. We're just going to introduce the panel. There was 7 of you in the group a minute ago. I don't know where everybody went to, but we're going to go ahead. That's Ed from Roll to Win. I saw you put out a video of your number 6 roll analysis today. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I will go back and watch it.
Number 6, the guy has a special hand. He's missing a ring finger, but it looked like it was natural, so it was a different grip. It was one of those things you have to work with a little bit, right? But he had it down.
Well, you know me. You took me from the traditional 3 grip to I'm using 2 grip because my hand here has been broke too many times. These fingers here have been broke, so I can't grip them. And you looked at my video I sent you and looked like I was releasing them wrong. So you helped me with 2 things. 1, the grip, and 2, you've got me launching from the deck, and it has made a tremendous difference, which Mike up there on the upper right can contest to. He saw some of it, and my friend Clay, or East Coast Craps, is in the chat in there. He was there as well that past Sunday. I don't know if you heard it or not through the trip reports or not, Ed, but I had a 40 roller last week, which brought Mike back from almost the brink of destruction. It was almost perfect timing when his wife came up, and he shoot her off, and then we got back, and he said, "Look, honey, I got chips." Anyway, so Ed, we'll get back to
You
just
never
1 second.
tell your wife you got chips, dude. You just don't ever tell them that. They won't stop if you do that.
All right, Mike, how are you doing tonight, my friend from On Point Craps?
Doing great, doing great. Still trying to survive our home renovations, but we still had a good Easter with the family. We actually just had like a picnic on the floor in our dining room, or what will be our dining room, and watched a movie on a projector, and it was a good time. And life's treating me good. Had a great trip. I think everybody's seen the reports, so yeah, life's good.
All right, well, thank you. Now, I'm going to go over to Joe over at Craps Master Journey. Now, Joe and I have never met. I haven't met Ed either, but Mike, I met you, and I think I can say that communicating with Joe over the past several months and watching his videos that he does and his ideas he comes up for videos to put out for subscribers. Joe, you were in. It's like 8:30. I hit the button to start the Zoom call, and you were there, my friend. So I appreciate that. Welcome. Yes. So, Joe, how are you doing? Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to everybody. I was under Jeff because you were worried that no one would show up, so I thought I'd be the first one there to support you, buddy.
All right. Well, no, I appreciate you. I appreciate you there. So, Skill, I'm going to make this announcement just one more time, guys. If you have a topic or a question, put it in a queue so I can see it, so we can talk about it in a minute. Dial in from Skill and Luck, who's the creator, co-host on the. Well, he's down there. He has something that he either wants to comment on or have a question. So I'm going to go through the chat dial-in. The floor is yours.
Okay, I wanted to open this up with a question that I've had. Wanted to ask all the panel and all the guests in chat and whatnot. I think this would be a good thing that we haven't really addressed. But when we go to the casino in our, and we're like, what is our actual goal to? Why are we going? Is a good question to for a good foundation. Are we going for the thrill? Because I know some people want to go for the thrill and get the high, you know. And I was just curious. I wanted to throw that out there. Why are we going to the casino? And I just like to. I think it's a broad, general statement, but it's never really been addressed. And I wanted to hear people's thoughts on why you really go to the casino.
All right, so well, I'll start out with me. I go for two reasons. One, when I was a recreational player, it was fun. It was entertaining. As you know, I have a poker background. I cruise a lot, and things to do on a cruise ship is play craps, especially when it's low $5 bets. And then just before COVID hit. You know, two poker rooms, local poker rooms, closed their poker rooms, and I migrated over, started taking it really more serious. And the next thing you know, COVID hits, and then we're down and build a table. Here I am, I'm having fun. But my main reason why I go isn't to do what we did last week with everybody that went last week. We had Ted Barry from Midnight Train 66. We had Clay from East Coast Craps. We had John from Pro Craps. We had myself. I'm going around the table. We had Lou G, Steel Legion, who was a subscriber and a viewer of all the channels, come over. We had Chris from Dice Degen, and we had Mike there. We were having a wonderful time, but what made it better is the reason why I go, and that is to make money. Now, I'll go back to the panel, and let's see what they have to say about it. Panelists, what do you think? We'll go to Ed first. I know what Ed's answer is going to be, but let's hear what he has to say.
Well, just what is my answer?
You go to make money.
You damn right. That's the only reason you go. That's why you rob banks. That's where the money's at. We can't rob banks and stay out of jail. So we go to the casinos and get there. That's the only damn reason to go.
Yep, I agree.
No, I mean, it's the camaraderie, the fun, the people, all that's a big part of it. But when I'm driving there, I'm thinking about how much I want to win and can I even win more. That's my mindset, is how much can I win when I go with what I took.
No, I mean, I kind of thought that was going to be your answer. I think it's going to be everybody else's answer. But Mike, you have to admit, last Sunday was fun.
Amazing. And everything I had hoped for. You know, I think I put out on my channel, you know, the part of what I do is because I love the game and I love the community. But I'd say, to answer your question, it depends. So if I'm going to my local casino that I, you know, can get to pretty quick, it's to win money, because I can go there, try to win whatever my target goal is, and pop out. If it's a trip like we were on, or even, you know, you guys saw my parents were there. They make trips to Atlantic City a lot. So if we're going on some type of trip, I'm paying for my entertainment. It's no different than than if I was going out to dinner and a show, and, you know, going to be spending a couple $100 on nothing. You know, food I eat and a show that's gone. You know, the craps is the same way. I go with a couple $100. That's my entertainment. The only difference is when you go to a dinner and a show, it's gone. You might walk away from the casino with some more money in your pocket. So that's how I look at it. So it really depends on what my goal is going on the trip. Is it a business trip to go make some money, or is it an entertainment trip where I'm going there to have some fun, spend some time with family and friends?
Yep, I think that everybody's going to be that. Right before I go to Joe, let me go to let everybody know that the link to get in tonight, if you click in the description, it's there. CrapsChat.com has a quick small link. I put it in the chat, but I don't know that you can click on it. Once you do connect, you have to turn off the YouTube and stay on the Zoom link, and you can get in. And if I'm not mistaken, is that Mid-Mo-Yo that just came into the room? It is.
Hello.
Cheryl, I'm going to get back to you in just 1 second. Joe, let's go ahead and answer Dylan's question. Why do you go? I'm sure it's going to be the same as Ed and me, but go ahead.
Initially, it is the same. I do go to make money. You know, I started playing craps because I enjoyed challenge. And, you know, a lot like the game of golf. Craps is a challenge. You have good days, you have bad days, and I enjoy the challenge. I want to see if I can succumb or beat that challenge and have a winning record on a consistent basis. I do enjoy watching the people, but it's more the challenge and the making of the money that is the reason that I play craps. But as far as the channel goes, I enjoy teaching people, you know, and if I'm at the table, that's another fun aspect of craps is being able to, when you're not shooting, obviously, you know, teach some of the people around you, hey, you know, this is some of the different things that you can do if you're interested, you know. You know, a lot of the things I find around this area is a lot of people are not hybrid players. They're either light side or dark side. And when you start mixing it, a lot of people are like, hey, what are you doing? You're playing against us. No, I'm actually doing a hybrid. I'm playing with you, but I'm trying to protect myself when I come out. So I would say the challenge is the biggest reason, as well as making money.
All right. Midmo, I'm going to call you, am I going to call you Chiro or am I going to call you Midmo Yo?
You can call me Chiro. That's fine.
All right, Chiro. You may not have heard the question that Dylan put out. He wanted to know what was the primary reason everybody goes to the casino. Is it for the camaraderie, the fun, or to make money? And so far, if you didn't hear the answers, let's see if you answered the same way. Why do you go to the casino?
Well, you know what? I mean, when it really comes down to it, I've been playing at casinos for several years, but not playing craps. I've been playing a lot of poker. I used to play a lot of tournaments back when I was a lot younger. And so I've been part of the casinos for, quite a while. But when it comes down to it now, life has made different things happen that are more important than trying to win a bunch of money at the casinos. So I like to think that it's a lot of fun. The camaraderie between people is a lot of fun, especially at the craps table. I've had a little bit of fun, at poker tables and stuff, kind of similar, but nothing like a craps, exchange between everybody who's having a really great time at the table. So that's a lot of fun, as well as for me, learning this game more and more every day, because there's still a lot that I do need to learn.
All right, great answer. I think that you said basically everything everybody else did, but you added a couple good positive things in there, which I think that's good. Lou, I just did talk about you. If you just joined us, I was talking about the trip. I personally haven't given a trip report. I think Mike and Chris over at Dice DJ and John did an excellent recap of the trip. There was no need for me to do a trip report. So I like what Lou says here. I go to the casino to keep my marriage intact. I think that's what it's supposed to be. And he says I'm not at home. Well, how about
Smart
that?
man. Smart man.
Anybody wants to join? The description's in the description below. You'll go to a waiting room. I'll admit you, and you'll come in. Dylan, what did you think of the answers that we got?
Oh, I love the answers. But that's what I would hope that are the real foundation of why we go. I'm just concerned about the people that are adrenaline junkies and that don't have proper discipline. I mean, I heard it all the way around. Everybody is saying, we have a goal, we stick to it, and and then we do our thing, and we're there to make money. I know we are there to make money, but some people have less discipline and haven't mastered it, and so that brings up a concern, a red flag, and I don't know. I mean, you're right. It's hard to develop that discipline, and trying to help someone else that hasn't mastered that discipline and just goes and they get up and then they go further than what they should, and then of course the casino bites them, and what can we do to help that person to understand that it's like, I don't know, I just don't really know what the answer is to help another person to increase their discipline. So I'd love to hear the panel's input on that. So I don't know if there's I don't know if there's a real answer out there that what helps you master your discipline.
All right. So
one thing I'll say, Dylan, is first of all, I'm glad to see you, and my prayers were with you, and I'm glad you're doing well, and I'll pray for a quick recovery on your next procedure.
Thank you, sir.
Joe made a statement about the challenge, or part of it is I like to test my skill. We're sitting here at our own home court. We're on our own putting green at home, and so it is a challenge to take that skill and see if you can apply it at a different table or different tables. But from a discipline standpoint, one of the things I do, and this is an old heavy trick, none of my casinos are local. I have no local casinos. I'm 4.5 to 5 hours, 5.5 hours away from anywhere I go. So if I go, I'm going for at least 2 nights or longer. So I take my initial bankroll and I put each day's amount of money in an envelope, and that's what I can play with that day. If at the end of the day that envelope is up, I put the money back in the envelope, and that money goes back in the safe. The next morning I get up and take that day's envelope. I've got them numbered 1 through 2, 1 through 5, how many nights or days I'm going to be there. And so that's part of the discipline. It's kind of a mechanical discipline in a way. I mean, there's nothing to keep me from being stupid and going out there and betting my whole bankroll on one roll, I guess. But if I did that, then I'd be sitting around drinking free drinks and smoking cigars or something. I don't know. So the discipline is a hard thing for a lot of people, and a lot of people gamble with money that they can't afford to lose.
Gotcha. All right. So back to the panel. I appreciate that comment. First of all, let me welcome 2 other people. I hear some rumbling in there. I kind of think it was Buckeye that had a rumbling. So Buckeye, I've muted you. You can unmute your mic once you get the noise cut down. Arnell, my friend, how are you?
Good evening, guys. Yeah, this ain't my so I just jumped on, figured, hey, I ain't got nothing else better to do. I'm usually on the chat with you guys, so I wanted to jump on and join the show.
Well, you're welcome. It's, I would say, first time on the show. How's that radio go? First, long time listener, first time, whatever it says. Arnell, for those of you that are in the chat, you probably know that's Dice Grinders. He does Wednesday night live fantasy craps, and he does an excellent show at producing that. Now, he's got some software that he uses. We all have different software, but Arnell, you've got that down to a T, the way you run that show, and hopefully one Wednesday night I can come play with you and Ed and a couple of the other ones that play. So welcome, my friend. What we were talking about, I think you probably heard in the chat, we were talking about why you go to the casino, and we were talking about discipline. And I think what Ed just said about discipline is an excellent response. So we'll welcome you on, and if you'd like to comment on why you go, and I hope it's probably for the same reason you've already heard. And I think that you're a pretty disciplined player from what I've seen in the forum chats, as well as what you do in your live fantasy crap. So welcome, my friend. The floor is yours.
Oh, sure. I do know my casinos, I got a bunch of them that are pretty close to me, so I don't have to, stay the night or anything like that. I like to do the in and out. If I could get in there early, if I'm, the only guy at the table, oh, I love that. If there's, a couple other guys, I like that also. But once it gets packed, I tend to not stay too long once it gets packed. Only because it takes too long to get the dice also.
Right. All right, so Buckeye, if you can unmute yourself, you can say hello to us. I unmuted you because it sounded like you had some noise in the background, so I'm asking to unmute you. If you would, go ahead and unmute your mic and say something to us. How are you, Buckeye? We may have just lost him.
How's everybody doing tonight?
All right, we're fine. Hey, for those of you that didn't catch Friday night.
Happy Easter to you. Happy Easter, Joe. Happy Easter, everybody. You too, buddy. Let's see if I can get this operating here.
All right. Well, Buckeye, I'm going to welcome you by saying it was a pleasure playing with you at Friday Night Fights with the Heads Up Craps that was run by Chris over at Sideshow Gamble. I did victor that night. I was victorious. However, we were still doing some practicing, and really it's just trying to get everything together for John over at Pro Craps, who's running this channel, the Casino Gaming Network channel. And Buckeye and I had a good contest. And Buckeye, can I tell him what I sent you the next day? What I saw when I went to my local? Is it okay if I mention that?
Absolutely.
Guys, I went to the local Saturday morning early, and I expected to see East Coast Craps AC there, and he was there, but he left. He had a problem with the box person, which I'm kind of hoping he's going to put a question in. Maybe we can talk about that tonight. But as I was leaving, Friday night I played Buckeye Slim and beat him. We went to the third round, so it came down to the final round. He did one hellacious comeback, and as I'm pulling out at the stoplight, there's a Pennsylvania car in front of me. Now I'm in Maryland, and it said Buckeye won. Buckeye and won, and I sent it to Buckeye, and he said, "That's right, I'm number one, baby. I'm coming back for you." So, let me see around
Jeff,
here.
I'm not gonna lie. Friday night was the most fun I've had playing craps in a long time, man. I really appreciate you, joining in the game with me, and I appreciate Chris hosting and John doing the box. Like it was a fantastic hour, man. That was the best hour I done had playing craps in a long time.
It was fun. Now you tell him, Buckeye. Skills played it, and I think John has played it. It's not the same as you going for a venture to the casino, and it's a tad bit different than tournament play. It's just a little bit different. So it takes a different mindset to be able to play that. Speaking of tournament play, let's go ahead and bring that question up. I'm going to ask Ed first. Ed, do you play tournaments at all, or are you just straight a cash player?
I have never played a tournament.
Okay.
I've turned them down.
Okay, so you have no desire to play tournament.
Didn't say that. I've just turned them down so far.
Has any of our panelists played tournament? I think, Skill, you may have, but has any of our panelists played a tournament, craps tournament? I have not.
Closest thing I came to a tournament, Jeff, was your rollout challenge that we did.
Right. Yep. I've played online the craps tournaments, but I've not played in person. And we had El Toro on several weeks ago, probably almost 4 sessions ago, so 2 months ago, and we were talking about tournament there. So I'm just going to give Dylan. That was my question, Dylan. Have you played a craps tournament?
No, I've not played for cash. No, I've not played a tournament that way. No.
All right. Well, I guess that answers that question real quick, since nobody else said anything. Guys, if you have a question or a comment, capital Q, semicolon, capital C, semicolon, any of the panelists, put their name in big bold print, and I will send it out there to them. Looks like we have a couple questions. So we'll go ahead and head over to the questions and see what takes place. The first question came in. It comes from Chris over at Sideshow Gamble. I'll put it up here on the screen for everybody to see. And he asked a question for Midmo. How is it going with the table strategy, and how have you figured out your attack strategy? Now, I'm kind of taken back by that question, Churro, so go ahead and have at it.
So, first off, I forgot to say Happy Easter to everybody. I wanted to say that. So the making the casino pay for my craps table, that is something that for whatever reason came to mind when I was researching how much crap tables are, because of my table that I have, which I have right here. I don't know if everybody could see there, but it's it's a table that I made myself, and I painted the fonts and the numbers on there, and they've made bumps with the paint layers. So it's not really perfect for anything that I'm doing, especially with my channel. So I was thinking, well, how much is our tables? When I started looking into a nice table, I came up with the idea. So as far as the strategies go, I want to get $700 of my own money, and it's going to take about $7,000 for a good table as well as shipping to get me a nice table. So I'm taking $700, turning it into $7,000, playing craps, making the casino pay for my table. The strategies, so far I have got better luck on playing, and this is a weird one, but playing the 6 and 8 high numbers on them and playing the pass line. When I keep trying to do the dark side with practices, a couple of rolls go good and then I start losing everything. But I've actually gotten way more luck playing the 6 and 8, hitting them high, hitting them hard, and playing the pass line. As of right now, that's what I believe I'm going to be working with. I do want to say this. In about 2 weeks is my first planned trip. I've already got a couple of things worked out. So I've got a casino that's about 2 hours away from me, and I'm planning on that. And of course, I will be giving updates and, on my video as well too. So.
All right, so let me take that question and expand out upon it, because I know Arnell's got a big table. Mike has a table like me; it's a studio table. Joe, I believe your table is a good table. So I'm gonna start with Ed first. And Ed, the table that you have, can you talk about how you got it, the table size, conditions, and so forth, and then we'll take it right straight to Arnell and then up to Joe.
Well, when I started my channel, and for about 3 years prior, I had a homemade table. It was nothing special. It was just adequate, and it worked. And when I started my channel, there was a guy that makes tables. He's a cabinet maker in Atlanta, large outfit. He's not like a one-man show. And he's got that electronic saw, computer-operated saw. And so he took some plans that were out there on the internet and put them into his computer, and he started cutting them. It was a little bit during pre-COVID times, but he had some slow periods, and he could knock out a couple of tables, cutting them out in a day. So anyway, he contacted me, said, "I like your channel, I like what you do. You want to talk to me about getting a table?" And I was a little bit skeptical, but I said, "Sure, let's find out what the deal is." And so I ended up, you talking about letting the table or letting the casino pay for your table. I said, "I tell you what I'll do. You want to make me a table, I'll come pick it up. We'll set a date and time. I'll meet you at the casino, and you can bet on my tosses." And that's how I got my table.
Nice.
Didn't cost me a dime.
Oh, I love it. That's an awesome story, Ed.
Let me go down to Arnell. Arnell, you have a beautiful table. You have a beautiful table, Arnell. You have it tricked out with lights and everything. How big is that table you have?
It's actually a 15-foot, because all the casinos by me are 14-foot, but the total size, from end to end is 15. Yeah, I started out with a small table of probably like 2 foot by 4 foot, or something like that, and I actually sold it to a guy, Matt, in the Skype chat for like $50. So he's using my old practice table. After that, I bought a table from somebody out in Missouri, a 10-foot table, but then I soon realized 10-foot isn't good for me to practice on, because all the tables by me are 14-foot. So that's when I sold a 10-foot and decided to make my own table, mainly because the price was so high. Every time I looked, for tables, it was, a couple grand up, for a new table or even a used table. So I just figured, hey, I've done woodworking and stuff like that, and I might as well just try it out. If all else fails, then I'll go ahead and buy a, table. But it came out actually pretty nice. I had some offers, people to buy it and stuff like that, or me to make them a table. But I'm not, into actually doing that or trying to make tables or anything like that. I mean, I've let people know, like, hey, you got questions or anything like that, I'll be happy to help you out. Or if you're close by, help you, take some measurements, cut some wood, hey. But I'm not into it to like make any tables or anything like that. It was mainly just for personal, just for practice. Somewhere down the line, I have been looking for actual casino tables, mainly because they have the diamonds that are 5-row, and what we can get is for the public is only the 7-row diamonds. You can only get the 5-row diamonds if you actually get a real casino table, because that's licensed. So somewhere down the road, I'll probably try to find a table that's got 5-row, or be able to swap it out between 5-row and 7-row diamond. Would be nice, in the future.
Let's go ahead and head up to Joe. Joe, you built your table. You showed us on multiple videos how you did your table. So I'm not going to skip the other players because I actually know basically what you guys have got going on there. But go ahead and Joe and talk about your table.
Yeah, I have a home built table as well. I built it. I put it all on video. So everybody that's out there that wants to build a table, I kind of go step by step. No master wooden, but it was a challenge, and it was a fun challenge, and it turned out really well. Like Arnell, I've had a lot of people ask to buy it, or to have me make them one. You cannot buy my table because I can't get it out of the basement. It's stuck 3 rooms deep, and I'd have to take it apart, which would be a challenge. It can be done, but it cost me approximately $1,500 to build. And the nice thing about that was I would spend, $50 to $100 a week to build it. And it took me about almost 3 months to build, simply because I was doing the recording and editing the film on how I built it. And the reason I built the table is because I wanted to learn how to play craps. And the nearest casino for me is about an hour drive.
Exactly what I did, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's where the challenge came in, and then the teaching and all that stuff. But that's basically with my table. It's a 12-foot table. It's more or less, regulation size. It's not a studio table. It's a lot of fun, though. A couple things I would do differently if I would rebuild the table, but it's well served its purpose.
All right, let's go around to the other panelists that we have here. And Mike, talk about your table. You and I are basically in the same ballpark. I have a 10-foot table which sits over here. I made it myself. It actually doesn't have the railings around it like a real table. But what I bought is similar to what John has over at Pro Craps as far as the throwing station. Mine's 10 foot. When I stand here, I'm about stick left 1.5 on my table. And you guys know what mine look like. But Mike, you told us when we were up at Atlantic City last Sunday about how your table is and conditions you have. And are you in the same room now as the table?
I am not, but I could possibly walk you over there. It's more or less it actually started out as, I think it's a whiteboard, like the MDF on a whiteboard, and it's 4 foot by 8 foot, and I got a layer of vinyl and a layer of felt, and then the felt layout on top of that. I bought some of the the diamond tread, whatever you call it, the gator skin. Bought a couple of them to put on either end, and that's really about it. It sits on top of an old dining room table that we had. So when I toss, at 8 feet, I can get, somewhere around stick left 1, I can toss. But it's functional. It's not, obviously it's not casino quality, but it does the job, helps me, practice moving chips around and toss in the bounce. I've had some tables at casinos that are similar. I don't think anyone, someone asked a question about how we get the true bounce or whatever, and I don't think anyone can ever really get it because every table's different. I've been on some tables that, they have that neoprene, they bounce all over the place. I'm not going for that. I'm going for more of a hard, staccato hit, and that's pretty much what it is.
All right. Well, you can see the comment that I just put up from Dan DVD. He said he's going to come out with an inflatable table, talk about the bounce. Now that's kind of a funny thing to say there. Buckeye, what do you have as a table?
I actually just have a self-built 4x6 table here. I can show it to you actually. So this is my table. I just went and bought a 8x4 piece of birch wood and cut it out. Had them cut it for me at Home Depot and just used some wood pegs to put it in place. So it's detachable. I can break it down and it's portable if I want to take it to a friend's house or something like that. But I just wanted to have a hard surface table. I don't have any underlay or anything like that. It's just wood and the layout. And I did it that way because I wanted to be able to practice for the Fremont and the California to get ready for the Golden Arm tournament. But since I didn't make it to the tournament this year, I'm just going to continue to use this to practice for next year. But I am planning on getting a table built. I have similar plans to what Churro has to make the casino pay for my new table. So I've been looking at one online. It's about $2,600. I figure if I can go down there and win $100 a day for a month, I can get my new table. So that's going to be the plan starting next month.
Good luck,
Good
to you,
luck.
my
Good
friend.
luck.
Nice. Good luck.
Thank
All
you.
right. Before we head to Skill about his table, Churro, I know you're working on a table. I may have been doing some controlling here when you were talking about your table. We know what your table it looks like. You're new to the YouTube content providership, but tell us about your table, and then we'll head over to Dial and let him answer that because we have a follow-up question to table conditions.
Oh, well, mine actually is, you know, I went to Lowe's and I got some wood, and you know, I ended up for the tabletop is about 3/4 inch, some of that really nice, smooth, polished, you know, wood. That didn't matter too much because I knew I was going to put some stuff on top of it, but I wanted it really even. I originally made the table because I was doing a party for my friend's house. We were having a New Year's party, and we were doing a casino royale. So on top of this table, I ended up making also a roulette table, and I bought a roulette, you know, wheel and everything. And then we also played some poker and stuff. So that was actually the real reason why I built this table. Now, the funny thing about my table is the backboard. This is nothing more than that for your drawers, for your dishes and stuff like that. I just wanted something because this thing comes apart very, very easily, and it's portable, so I couldn't really put the diamond pad on there. So I'm very excited about the new table whenever I finally do get it, because it'll have accurate stuff on it. So.
All right. Dylan, how about your table?
Well, my brother actually has a table in his house, and he's maybe 2 miles away from his house to my house. So, and it's a 14-foot table, so it's in his basement, and you know it's normal. If you've seen some of my earlier videos, then you've seen his green table. I've got my practice rig upstairs, but it's just a practice rig. So those are my two go-to things, and so it's nothing super fancy,
All
but
right.
it
All
works.
right. Let's go to the follow-up question here. Let me go back to it. This question comes from Chris Young. For the you guys in the chat, you may not be able to see that, but basically he's asking, how do you get true bounce on your homemade tables? So from my standpoint, I'll speak from my table. I have 2 layers of under laminate that's there. One is vinyl, which gives me the bounce on the right side of the table. I can pick my landing spot where the diamond plate is and pick it up and move it to the other side, and that's hard. That's how I do it. For those of you that have your tables at home, I'm sure, I'm going to go back to Ed for the first question, because I'm sure he has probably played with his layout on multiple occasions, Ed. So have you adjusted your table to any conditions, Ed?
Yeah, from my original home built table to this one, there's been a few changes that I've done. The original table, I used felt, and then some thin vinyl, then obviously microfiber. When I had this table built, I wanted it to have 2 stick positions instead of the dealer bank on the opposite side. So my table mirrors each side. And at first, I went with on what I call my bouncy end now, a really thick felt, quality felt, a real quality vinyl. It's not super thin. I bought the thickest vinyl I could find, and then I've got my microfiber. Initially, I wanted a real bouncy end, so I put the felt down, and then I put a 1/16 scuba cloth, which is a neoprene type cloth. It's real rubbery, real bouncy. You can stretch it tight. But I decided after a while that end was just too much. I wasn't encountering anything that was like it. So I ended up taking that end of the table apart and taking that scuba cloth off. And then now that's my really firm side with just the felt under it.
All right. Well, I mean, I knew that you would have played with table conditions to get either to your liking or to where you play at, and you're so experienced with dice throwing that I figured I would start with you with that question.
Yeah, the thing is you want something that's going to simulate what you're going to play on the majority of the time. So obviously, I throw more on my bouncy end. If I'm really serious about tracking rolls into Bone Tracker, I will pull my table out, which is another good point for those of you who are getting tables. If you'll buy those large furniture skids, those round discs, put them under your legs, you can slide that table out. So if I want to get on the other side of my table right now, I just can pull it right out, pull it over where I'm standing, walk around, and I can practice on the hard end. That's real handy to have if you've got limited space. Because I built my table, then I built my room around my table. That's a whole different story. It's not the right way to do it.
You're not moving anytime soon, are you?
It's the right way. Come on, Ed.
Priorities, Ed. Priorities.
Yeah, the priority was to get the table.
All right, let's head over to Arnell and ask him about his condition because he has a 15-foot real table. Arnell, do you adjust your table layout or the underlaminate?
Yeah, I used to play a lot with just hard table, where it was just a felt or layout for a long time. But I've been finding, the casinos, definitely are a little different. Bounce. I think it's more of they have something else under there, whether it's two layers of felt or three. I find it different. So I actually, when I built this table, I actually have 2 layers of batting, and then I wanted to simulate the worst table conditions, so I actually went with super bouncy. So I actually had like Ed put like a 1/8 inch of what do they call it? Closed cell foam, and I practiced that for almost a year. And it's unrealistic. So, I haven't run into any tables like that, but I just wanted to practice to see, what the dice would do, on an extreme end. But after about, 10 months, I did remove the closed cell foam, and now I'm strictly just 2 layers of batting and a layout. And I do like a higher toss, so it doesn't really matter which casino I go to. I try to throw pretty much the same as far as like my mechanics. And playing on the different surfaces as far as like hard all the way up to the super bouncy, that helped me figure out, with my toss, going to casinos, it's actually better for me to try to hit as close to the bottom rubber as possible. Is what I find, actually works for me on, any table condition. So it was good for practicing the different table conditions to actually figure that out for myself. It seems that helps me on, whatever casino I'm going to.
All right. Well, Ed, you'll be happy to see this chat I'm going to put up here now. This comes from Chris Young, who asked a question very similar to you.
I saw that.
He built his entire house around his homemade table. Wow. I live in a small house. My house is.
I saw that comment. I loved it. But yeah, because I think there's some pictures or something on some of the old stuff where I was redoing mine, and I built the walls around it, left one wall open so I could slide the whole table out, put the floor down, then slid the table back in, then I built the last wall. But I am going to hop off here soon. That'll give you room for another guest. but I just want to
we
jump
have
on
plenty
anyway.
of
So if you
room.
see me disappear, I'm not just disappearing. It's just about time for me to head out.
All right. Well, happy Easter to you. I'm glad you came on with us. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Easter Ed.
Happy Easter,
All right.
everyone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Jay Bones Jones the comment up here about Arnell's table. Let me turn that one layer off there. And as you see here, he says that Arnell's rig is decked out like a gaming rig, strip lights on a dimmer board, a power PC, and he has a roll tracker that he clicks to keep track of rolls. Is that correct, Arnell? You somehow keep track of rolls?
Yeah, I got a 3-digit like a counter to track rolls, for LFC and when I'm practicing and stuff like that. The LED strips, I was just like, that's something kind of cool to do, so put those on.
All right.
It is cool.
Move on. Let's move on to another question here. Arnell, since you have the spotlight, I think Vince is probably still here. He sent out a couple. He joined the chat. Then he said he's watched movie night with Sue. He's been chatting in here, so I'm not exactly sure. But just real quick, I'm not too sure about this, Arnell. But Vince wants to know: can you please change your table limits from 50K to 250K? He says he has 550K sitting in your account. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I'm sure it might be maybe where you link up the CRAPS or something.
Yeah, he's talking about the CRAPS. Unfortunately, Vince, I actually create a new table every week. So you're actually going to start back out at 1,500 and not have the 500 plus K that you made last week.
Oh, poor Vince.
Listen to him. See,
Man,
guys,
could you imagine if the casino did that?
That's what I get for not reading the questions ahead of time for a silly question. But I guess he got his answer. That he got his answer there. Let's see. Let's go on to another one. This is going to be from Dice Doctor as well. It looks like he says he's asking a question about Casino Quest. Does anyone wish to comment on Casino Quest experience with the Grand Casino? So I can't. Anybody can? Anybody?
I can.
All right, go
I
ahead.
can. I watched that video where they gave the rundown on what happened with that experience, and I feel like that was a major screw up on the part of the Grand, because CEG and Casino Quest, they have a lot of followers, like a whole lot of followers. So if they would have allowed them to film that and had given them the table limits they were looking for, plus had thrown in the banquet that nobody asked for, they just kind of threw it at them and let them record that as well. See, I've been to the Grand. I go to the Grand every time I go to Vegas because they're the only downtown casino with $5 table limits ever. I mean, except for $5 roulette at El Cortez. But it's never anybody in there. The place is never full. It's never packed. You know, the tables, they don't keep them open 24/7 like every other casino downtown does, because they don't get the business to keep them open 24/7. If they had allowed that event to go off the way it was supposed to, their revenue would have tripled, if not quadrupled, by the end of the summer. Forget a whole year. We just talking about in the next fiscal period, their income would have skyrocketed. It was really foolish of them to handle that situation the way they did. And considering the fact that they barely have any business now, I see them losing a lot of casino business behind that. Like, I'm questionable about whether I want to go back there now after knowing that they would handle a situation like that that could boost them the way it could have. I'm kind of feeling sketchy about going in there to play and gamble, because now I'm starting to feel like if there's anything they can do to work the game against me, they're going to do it because they need the money. They're going to be struggling now. So I don't know if I want to go into a struggling casino that's probably going to be on its way out as a casino. They're going to end up just running the hotel because the hotel is beautiful. The hotel itself is gorgeous, but they're doing nothing with the casino. And they're probably going to end up losing even more casino business behind that.
Yep. I think what I'm going to do is, as I actually commented on that video, because when they put it out 2 days ago, now I'm familiar with what Dice Doctor was talking about. I'm going to switch screens real quick, guys. You guys are going to see, you're going to see the screen, and your audio is going to go away. But I believe this is the video that everybody is talking about right
go
there.
exactly as planned.
Yep.
And me and Alex have spent a bit of time debating on how we wanted to sort of present this information, how to address it, and we feel like we want.
And I mean, I've met David and Alex. You know, I wouldn't expect anybody to deal with them like that on a business or personal level.
Yeah, no, I think I watched the whole video, and I was my comment was pinned for a few days, and it was talk. I thought they handled that video very well. I thought they were very professional. I thought that they drove the point home with exactly what you said, and that is the fact that they could have brought them some business if they allowed them to set up. Now, I've never been to the Grand. It's been a few years since I've been to Vegas. I'm going in the fall. I'm going to go when Big AZ is going to be there in October. I can't go to DiceCon this year, but I will be able to travel after July. So for those of you that didn't see that video, I'm going to go ahead and pop that video in the chat so that you will be able to see that. And if you want to go check that out later, that is the video to the link to that video. So, although I did it under Casino Gaming, not Mid-Atlantic, either way, you'll see that. Anybody else want to comment about the video if you watched it before we move on?
Hey, I'll just touch on it real quick. I'm going to have to jump off here pretty soon so I can spend the rest of Easter evening with my family. But yeah, I think everyone's under the consensus that you know, they did dirty, and it was surprising because, you know, I've never been, you know, they have a business, and I've never worked a contract for craps or anything like that. But, you know, having a host at a casino and stuff like that, I know how the casinos and the hotels like that, they work at the resorts, and they always seem very accommodating, and I don't see where the disconnect was in that, especially since they had the emails. But, you know, one of the things they commented, they're like, you know, you never said you needed $5 tables. And like, they showed 2 separate emails where not only did they request it, but they answered saying, yes, we will have them. And for them to be that way, I just don't understand what the driving force would be behind that, even if it wasn't, you know, as big of a group as it could have been or should have been or whatever. I mean, the visibility and the advertisement it would be bringing to that casino would have been more than what, you know, they would have made up for that. Maybe not, you know, in that event, but in the short term. So I just don't see how that was a good business sense for them to like flip the script on them like that.
Well, let me jump in here. Brian from Hawaii Crap Shooters is in the chat. We know that all those guys, they go out, they shoot constantly in Las Vegas. Brian, if you could click in the description below and come on the show. You don't necessarily have to comment about Alex and shoot, forgot the gentleman's name all over. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did.
David.
Thank you, David and Alex. Yeah, it was Alex, the one I couldn't think of a minute ago. We're talking about the comment, the video they put out, Brian, where they were talking about they had set up a meet to go there and take some of their clients to go there. And I think they said they had like 100 people that were ready to play and they wouldn't accommodate them. But anyway, I wanted to say aloha to you too. Kevin Farm, by the way, sent me a message. You guys, you can like this. Let me real quick, we'll take a break here just 1 second. Let me get over to my Discord. Kevin Farm, who's on here almost every single week with us, he says, Jeff, my aloha to you and Dylan and all. Happy Easter to everybody. I'm at an Easter party and might not be able to join. By the way, we will be downtown Vegas April 20th through the 26th. Come and meet up with us. Money Shot Brian and the Hawaii Crap Shooters crew will be there. So I'm going to put that plug out there. Anybody that's going to be in Vegas on the 20th through the 26th. So anybody else have any other comment regarding that Casino Quest video?
I really don't want to comment on the video itself, but I would like to see the other side of this situation, to see what the Grand Hotel would have as a comeback or as their reasoning for things. I don't like passing judgment unless I see both sides of the story. You know, thus far we've only seen one side, so that's just my only comment I want to add into it.
No, I agree with you, Churro, but I do believe that the way that Alex and David handled that video, I thought was very professional. And obviously, there's three sides to every story. There's theirs, there's the casinos, and there's really what took place. And I don't doubt Alex and David, but to have 100 people, you can see what I just put up there. Badger just wanted to know who turns down those kinds of numbers. Turn those numbers away. So I mean that was a lot of business, regardless of whether they were going to have a $5 table or something higher. And what I found curious was that they said in the video that they actually went there and that they don't typically have the size of tables that they had. They would have been okay with a $10 or a $15 table, but they jumped it up as if they didn't want that crew to play. And I kind of found that a little unusual. So let's see.
They should have played it. Yep, they should have played it. Now, I hadn't watched it, but if I'd have been there, by God, we'd have played that $25 table or that $15 table, and we'd have took their damn money home with us. Right? And we'd have done it on freaking
going
video.
up that high in the first place.
Well,
not everybody can shoot like you go at.
Yeah. Hey,
exactly.
March a year ago. I was down there during March Madness, and Las Vegas was stupid insane. I'll never go back during March Madness. I ended up playing at that damn casino that they're talking about in there, and there wasn't no freaking body in it. And that was the only reason I was playing. It was the only place I could find the empty table. But I'll tell you what else now. I played a slightly off-strip casino during that March Madness crap that was going on. And I talked to the box man, and then he brought the casino manager over there. And I said, here's the deal. Y'all don't open this table till 11 o'clock. He said, that's right. I said, if I can bring 10 people to this table and y'all open it at 10 o'clock, and we'll each toke your dealers $25 a piece before we put our money down, and we'll put a $2,000 bankroll on the rack. Can we open this table at 10 a.m. instead of 11? He said, anytime you want to. Anytime you want to. And I said, next time I get a good crew together, we're gonna be in there, and we're gonna try to get on that table at 10 o'clock. It's not the best table, but by golly, if you've got 10 shooters sitting around the table, and at 11 o'clock, all we were asking for is an hour before they would regularly open it. We're going to toke the dealers. We're going to take care of everybody there that's taking care of us. And if we're still shooting at 11 o'clock, then we still own the table. Right?
Right.
That's the perfect scenario. That's the perfect scenario.
Chris did from Dice DJ, and I just had it up there, said that he thinks that one of the reasons why they cut back on the contract, if you will, but I think if you watch the whole thing, was they were expecting a certain amount of rooms to be booked, and I think they only had like 8 rooms initially. So I don't think room stays and what they would have made on the table, or anticipation of what a casino makes on the table for, let's say, 2 or 3 tables open for 5 or 6 hours, whatever they were going to play. I don't think that the amount of money with the book stays has anything to do with the amount of money they would have made on the table. But Chris from Dice DJ does bring out a good point. Churro, you always want to hear the other side. But I'm going to tell you, when Mike and I and John and Ted and Clay and Chris went and played at Harris, they had one table open. It was I believe it was a 14-foot table, and it filled up before everybody got there. Ted went over to the pit and said, what time's your next table open? And they said 11 o'clock. We stood around, tried to find something to eat. We stood around, and at 11 o'clock, we went over and marked our spots, and we had 7 people right there on that table, right then and there. They brought the dealers in, and we played for well over, I'm going to say over 4 hours or close to 4 hours, and they did exactly what we wanted. That table was going to be a $25 table, and with Ted's influence and his play there, he was able to get them to leave the table at 15 and stay at table at 15. They opened the third table at 25, and it filled up too.
Well, and I'm going to jump off because I'm fixing to get kind of heated. But
take a drink.
I've never stayed at that place. I've only played at it, but I can't. Buckeye there, he said it was a nice hotel. I got no flipping idea. But I would tell that casino, just like I tell every casino or every host that contacts me about going on a flipping cruise or anything else. I don't pay no flipping body to gamble. I'm not paying you to go gamble. You want me to come gamble, you set me up. Then I'll gamble.
Right.
So I'm not paying for a room. I might buy some food here and there, but I really want food costs. I don't care about your free play. I bring my own money because I'm gonna take yours home with me. But I ain't paying for the room. I don't pay for people to, and if they're looking for rooms to allow that kind of, I haven't seen the video, but if they're requesting rooms to be booked, then they ought to honor whatever their contract was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there's not enough people that wants to pay, and I would not be one of them, I will not pay a casino for a night. If they can't put me up, I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah,
that's just the way I look at it.
All right.
I drive too far. Or I got to fly. In fact, I prefer, this is really sticking it out there, I prefer that they buy my flight before I get on the plane.
I respect that, Ed.
Yep.
The thing that I found confusing about the situation was that I've walked into the Grand where it was a $10 table. And I looked at it and said, ooh. And they said, we can bring it down to $5 for you if you want, but there was nobody in there. So if there's nobody in there and you can bring the table down to $5 for me, then why can't you honor your agreement to get $5 tables to over 100 people that are coming, that all came from out of town to gamble?
Well, now I got one
Chris
table.
Makes a good point. I think Chris makes a good point that it might have had something to do with the lack of room reservations, but still, you would have made that back on the casino floor. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Ed?
Well, I mean, when I was in there, they only had one table. And it was a 14-footer with a pretty good bit of bounce.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right. So, they only gonna get 12 people on their max anyway, basically.
They got 2 crap tables in there now. I see the 14-footer that you just mentioned is never open ever, and then they got the 12-footer right across from it, and that's the only one they ever open, but it's hardly ever open because there's hardly ever anybody in there playing.
I don't doubt it.
So if you know you're not getting business right now, you got a chance to get over 100 people in here right now on the spot. They all came with money to gamble with. Jet and Dennis had like 2,000 or 3,000 each to gamble with, if not more.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We just lost.
I think we just lost Buckeye. Ed, you're still going. Buckeye, I think we lost your connection. Might have a poor signal there.
I'm going to hop off, but I mean, it's the way I feel about it. I gamble enough when I'm there that I'm risking my money. They ought to be able to put people up in rooms. They should have just given 150 people rooms and let them gamble. Right? I don't know if they got 150 rooms, but they should give qualified gamblers, let's call it that, qualified people that gamble at different casinos or what have you, and they want their business. That's how I get it. I had a deal with a cruise line a while back. They called me and they kept offering me partial payments and half off of this and half of that. And I said, I'm not interested. And the guy finally called me back 3rd day in a row, and I said, take your pencil out and write this down. I said, write my name. He did. I said, does not pay anyone to gamble. I said, so the next time you want to call me, you read that before you call me.
All right. Before you
2 days later,
Ed,
his boss called me, and I got booked for an outside room with an outside veranda room on a cruise ship. That's just the way I feel about it, because I'm going to put the money out here on the table.
Yep.
All right, so
respect that. Yeah, sorry about that, John. I had a bad connection for a second.
I'm going to run because I'm getting heated.
Yep. I'm right behind you,
Ed.
Ed. Happy Easter, everybody. Thanks for having me on, and I'm sure I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Dad.
Happy Easter, everybody.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Mike, Ed, I wanted to catch you before you go. There is a comment that Brian put in here real quick about the same thing, then we're going to move on. Mike, happy Easter. If you want to jump off, you can. Brian put in there, it was a poor business decision by the Grand to do what they did. It would have been better if they just canceled the venue with Casino Quest instead of doing what they did. And I totally agree with what Brian said there. With that said, Ed and Mike, I wish you a happy Easter, and thanks for coming on tonight.
Yep.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
See
Glad
ya.
to see you doing well, Donald. Glad to
Yep.
see you doing well.
Yep. Stay healthy, Dylan.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, so real quick, Dylan, I don't think that you probably saw the video. It's probably worth something going over to see. But do you have any comments on that topic?
Actually, I did see the video, and it seemed to me that the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing, and the host wasn't really clear with the floor, and that when Dave and Alex, was talking to the floor people there that night, that they really wasn't expecting it, and so it was like out of the blue, and then they, in a roundabout way, it seemed like they copped an attitude, the floor, because they were trying to describe that, we have negotiated this, and they didn't, the floor people didn't believe them. That's what it came across as to me in the video, and so and since they didn't believe them, they were thought, well, we don't believe it. We don't believe you. And so why are we going to lower our table limits for you? And who do you guys think you are? And so it's just poor miscommunication all the way around. It looked like, and it looked like the whole both the host and the floors handled it badly, to say the least. And so when that happens, there's just a no-win. It becomes a no-win situation, and they said that they took the whole crew and left and went to other establishments and played. So sometimes you have to walk with and dictate the money with your wallet, and if you're not pleased with the service that you're getting, you've got to walk. And so it is what it is. We don't know the other side, completely, and so I don't know if we ever will. But I know that Casino Quest, they're there to generate dealers for the casinos, and they're well known. And I don't know why they would, catch such hassle. And that should have never happened. So they're biting the hand that feeds them. So and you can't really do that. So there was poor decisions that were made. Definitely. But there's we can't say one strike and you're completely dead. So crap happens. So we can't write them completely off. If it consistently happens, then that's something else. But people do make mistakes. Things fall through the cracks all the time. So we do have to give them some benefit of the doubt, and try to always take the bigger step. Take the high road, and but if it continues, then that's another story.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and I'll welcome my guest here in a second. I'll put this up here real quick, and we're going to end it with this. Jay from Bones Jones says if they formed the hypothesis that their players are of 21 years old, and he wasn't too sure how old they have to be, then they begin to fear for their drop. I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm just going to leave that one out there for that. I'm not sure what that means, but it looks like we've been joined from our friend Kevin Farm, who is here in the chat now. We also have Ken from No Shoes. Hello there to you as well. I'm going to put this up here, and then we're going to move on from this. This is going to be from Brian from Hawaii Craps Shooter, since he is the expert in putting videos together of live play. He says the Grand actually is a fun place to play. Tables are 12 foot, and they have a medium bounce. Dealers are very friendly and fun, and it's not overcrowded. I believe it's 10 times odds. It's all was a management problem, and I think that's what it said. A couple people said that it was bad. It was very bad, poor judgment on behalf of whoever was working that night, or the host that sets up the venues for meets like this that come on. So we're going to move on from this topic. I think we beat that one pretty well to death, and I think we made Ed pretty mad about the whole idea about what they did. But in any event, Chris, my friend Dice Dejan, how are you? We'll go ahead and say welcome and give you just a few minutes to talk about it real quick. Before you start talking, I'm going to put this up. I saved this. I saved this from just a little while ago. This comes from Lou G, who is Steel Legion. He said it was great to meet everyone last Sunday. I had a great time. Looking forward to another one. Chris, you were there. We don't have to talk about it. Your trip report was excellent. Mike's trip report was spot on, and John did it. There's no need for me to talk about it. Not because I had the longest roll and made the most money, but we'll just go with it with that. Chris, how are you? Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everyone. Jeff, Dylan, Chiro, Joe, Arnell, Buckeye, everyone watching. Happy Easter, everyone. Sorry, I'm a tad late here. I was watching in the comments. I was just driving home from a family event. Now I'm home, so figured I'd hop on. But yes, Jeff, you were the big winner, the hero who saved Mike and I from drowning on the craps table there. So we appreciate you. And it was a blast. And Lou's 100% correct. I had a great time, and really looking forward to doing something like that again in the future.
Well, welcome and happy Easter to you. Thank you, Duracell, for putting that out there. You jumped on, Chris, do you have any comments on what we've talked about so far? Because I do have a question. I was really hoping that East Coast was going to pop a question in there. I don't think he will, so I'm going to ask it because he and I have both experienced some problems, not just local here, but at another casino we played together at, and I'm going to ask that here in a few minutes. Maybe he doesn't want to draw attention to it. I don't mind drawing attention to it because I have so many choices to play. But Chris, how are you, and do you have any comments on what we talked about so far?
No, you guys have been doing great. I've been listening in. My comments on the grand situation were in the comment section, and I will leave them there and can move on with the show.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and ask a question. This will be a question from me. It deals with your casino staff. And in my local area, we're regulated much more severely than in Atlantic City or Biloxi or out in Vegas. Here recently, and somebody tell me if I'm wrong with this, when your dealers, and it's a full table, and your dealers are not, they're chit-chatty, and it's okay to chat back and forth with you, but they start talking to one another, and a box person doesn't correct them to pay attention to the game, does that distract from you? I sit a stick left one. I'm a tall guy, Chris, as you know, and Mike, I'm 6'4", I'm 300 pounds, and a lot of times, with the stick, I get hit in the head every once in a while, which is okay, but the stick people, the dealers talk to the stick people, the box person's even in on it, and it makes for, I recorded a video here recently, so I don't normally get upset or mad at this, but I have a problem, not necessarily with buy-ins and mid-roll. It doesn't bother me when I'm shooting. I know it does with I know it's proper etiquette not to do that, but somehow along the line, let's talk about how we can approach or what we can say to the dealers and the box person for that matter, so that we don't come across as if we're being, asinine or whatever, and let's just have a quick discussion about that and that exchange. So, Arnell, I'm going to start with you.
My casinos, I know them all, so they're all pretty friendly. And yeah, I do see them a lot, talk to each other and the box people and stuff like that, or tell their stories or whatnot. Me, I don't. It doesn't mind. I don't mind it because it's chatter at the table. And I know the dealers are there, long hours and stuff like that. So as long as they're still focused on the game and still able to handle it while they're chatting, it doesn't bother me. You just have to go with it.
All right. Let's go to Buckeye. You seem to travel and have played quite a bit. Does that bother you with the distraction? I don't mind having conversation with the dealers, but at a full table, and they're not talking to us. They're talking amongst themselves, like what they're going to do after work, or what they did last night, or they've got some event coming up.
Okay, so for me, this kind of ties into my answer to a question that was asked earlier about why do we go to the casino. I don't see that so much as a distraction. I see it more as a challenge. Because when I go to the casino, I go to the casino not just, I share the same answers as everyone. I go to make money. I go for the thrill. I go to enjoy myself. I'm paying for my entertainment. But my core purpose is the casino is a proving ground for me. It's a way for me to find out, have I been improving as a shooter? Have I been improving as a player? Do these strategies that I've been developing on my practice table actually work? Am I capable of doing again what I did my first time out and having another hour and 12-minute roll at a $25 table? Am I capable of doing that now that I know all the things I know about the game? So if the dealers are distracted by talking to each other, I see that as a challenge. But I have a trick for that. And it's a real simple trick. If I'm going to put the dealers in the game at all, then I put my bets up for them under player control. Now they have to pay attention to me. Because every time one of their bets hit, they need to know what I want to do with it because it's under player control. So y'all can think you're going to be distracted, but if I stay on these dice long enough to really catch your attention because your bets are going up, that means my money is going up in my rack as well. So as long as I'm winning, you winning, we in this together now. Now your attention is on me. The first person whose attention is going to be on me really, though, is the box person. Because when they see me throw them first couple throws, they're going to wonder if I really know what I'm doing. The dealer's going to start paying attention to me once they bets start going up. And now everybody at the table is going to be paying attention to me after a 25-minute roll of no 7 out and hardly any 7s on the come out. I'm getting nothing but box numbers. Now I got everybody's attention. So that's the challenge that I go to overcome when I get to the casino, because that's how high I set the bar for myself. That picture that I use as my profile picture on my Buckeye Slim YouTube, that's my first win out as a controlled shooter. I had the whole table focused on me. I felt like a superstar that night. So my challenge to myself every time I go to the casino is to do that again. If I manage to do that again, I'm not going to have to worry about the dealers being distracted by each other for very long.
Very good philosophy. I like that too. I put up a lot of dealer bets. I always, when I'm shooter, there's a bet there, and I typically put the odds behind it for them as well. When I'm up and ahead and I'm shooting and I'm beyond 12 or 13 rolls, I'll go 4 inside or 6 across the numbers for them. Try to get their attention, to pay attention. I make a lot of moves, and the person I play with hates it because I'll go 110, then I'll go up to 154 inside, and I'll either come down to 110 or 66, and it makes him mad, especially if he's rolling, because it slows the game up. I don't get distracted by that, but I see where that is. And if the dealer is talking to another dealer, when I give them my order, if you will, my bet structure, and they miss it, it just slows the game up. But I like your approach. Let's go over to Craps Master Journey Joe. He hasn't spoken a little bit. Joe, what do you have to say?
Hey, I like Buckeye's answer. It's an awesome answer, but I'm a lot like Arnell. I'm there. Not much bothers me unless I'm actually shooting. The one thing that does bother me, it's happened to me a couple weeks ago, where I was at the table and there was only myself and 2 other players, and another guy walks in and he was really loud and obnoxious, and the dealers actually were encouraging that. And I don't know if it was someone trying to cool the table off or what, but I found it to be extremely annoying. But for the most part, hey, we're there to have fun. It's a challenge for me as well. I don't mind the dealers talking, but that philosophy that Buckeye brought in, hey, let's get these dealers involved. That's one thing I don't see a lot of, is the tipping, for the dealers. And I'll throw $2-3 out there, and they're like, oh, thank you very much, and then they learn my name and all that type of stuff. I don't see that often enough. Obviously, they have to do their job; they're getting paid to do that, but people take more attention to you when you get them involved in a game. You give them the recognition that they deserve, and work with the dealers. The more you work with them, the more they're going to work with you guys. But if you walk up to the table like you know it all and you know it better than they do, they don't look too friendly on that. So
right.
That's kind of my take on it.
All right, Churro, how about you?
Well, I've actually had some pretty good luck at the casinos that I play at. Dealers have been really, really friendly, really into it, and very, very helpful especially when people come up not knowing how to play. I remember one time I walked up to the table I was playing, and then my wife came up behind me, and she's not familiar with it at all. And before I could even tell her what to put down, the dealers were sitting there helping her out. So my experience has been pretty good with that. Now, I will say when I went to Vegas just recently, we stayed at the Cosmopolitan. It was my wife's very first time going to the Vegas, so we basically stayed on the Strip. Cosmo's dealers were just like they were dead. They were so boring. They literally they wouldn't even talk to you or anything. I had more conversation with the stick man because I was throwing in a hard way bet or whatever than the dealers themselves. It was actually unfortunate. I had more fun going to the Flamingo playing on the glass table where there's only one dealer, the stick man. So it was kind of a weird experience when I went to Vegas.
All right. All right. And anybody else want to chime in on this that I may have missed? So, Chris, did you want to say anything?
I just mentioned, I think Buckeye's philosophy there is pretty good. Jeff, you could probably attest to this. I keep the dealers involved when I'm shooting right away, pretty much. They're getting two-way hard-way bets as soon as I start shooting, basically. I have them on whatever the point is, and then the longer my roll goes, the more bets I place for them. But at my local, I'm friends with a lot of the dealers. So, like, we'll have side chats. They'll ask me how my weekend was. They'll ask me, what I'm doing whenever because I am friendly with them. And the one thing I did hear from one of the dealers once, because we'll chat, like, outside of the casino even. Sometimes we'll go, like, one of the guys plays in, like, a rec basketball league with me. So we'll chat there occasionally. And sometimes he tells me that the dealers talk to each other to avoid having to have weird conversations with other people at the table. And you might find it to be true, especially if you go during like prime time Friday, Saturday night, when the tables are packed, you have people who are drunk or just a kind of belligerent of sorts. And they don't want to deal with those people. So then they'll start having side conversations with the dealer so they can almost ignore the other people. Now, is that good or bad? It's, up for someone to decide what they think about that. But usually when I'm there, the dealers are super nice to me. I don't care if they have a side conversation. If it starts affecting bets, then it might get to an issue, but I've never had an issue with it when they're having side conversations. The local dealers know my bets pretty well. I usually don't have to say much, even if like there's a returning bet that I forget to place. They'll book it for me and they know I'm good for it. So, I'm pretty fortunate, I think, to have such good dealers around me and, to be friendly with them. And if you are tipping them, then they're usually pretty friendly with you. So that's my 2 cents on that.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to catch Dylan's here, his comments just a second. But East Coast just said that the Craps Pit is a social gathering place at one of our locals. And we typically know our locals, probably like you guys know yours. And if you travel to your various destinations multiple times a year, you've probably seen some of the same dealers. But what we're referring to, and I'm going to say we, I am, is that it's like there's a social aspect going on. And Chris, I never thought about it the way you just worded it. Maybe they're trying to avoid conversation with us, but it's distracting, especially when the dealer says, "No, what did you want? What is this for?" So forth and so on. Now, when I say that, the second part here is that one of our locals doesn't allow player control, and I don't know that I necessarily understand what Clay is saying, but I think I understand what he's meaning. Is that most of us know the order in which bets are paid, and most of us know when it's our time, but there's several people that are new to the game that don't know the order in which the bets are paid. And I always wait my turn, and if I put chips out there after a point is set, typically the dealer will know what I'm doing. But there's a time probably when they should chat, and there's probably a time when they shouldn't chat. I'm not picking on dealers because without them, we can't. And I think Whalen put that up here. Let me put this chat one up here. I think he's saying something about whether or not dealers get paid if they are nice and helpful. If they're not, they don't get jack. And although I'm a traditional,
I'm with you on that, Whalen.
I'm a traditional service. Like if somebody's in the service industry, I tip very well. I was married to a waitress. She worked very hard for her money. So if somebody's out there doing something, I'm going to give them a tip, and I always pay a tip. And Chris, you probably can contest to this. It's here in the audience. I know that Clay can. Is that when you saw me put a line bet up, I had $1 next to it, and then I put $1 behind it. And there were several times I was putting them up on the hard ways. In my role that I had, I hit the 4. I want to say it was 9 times out of that 40 roll, and I hit the 10, 6. So 15 of those rolls in the 40 were 4s and 10s, and I was up on the hard ways, and I was hitting, I think I hit 3 hardway 4s because I I pressed those, and the same thing with the 10, and I was always putting them back up. So I think from a standpoint of us as players, I think that we need to be able to correlate our expression to them that, hey, we've got a hot shooter here, or we've got a great game going here. It's nice that you guys are going to get together and go to some party or see a movie or go to dinner, how your wife was. But you're there to work for us. And I kind of tend to agree with Whalen that, good service gets good tips, but I tip irregardless. I'm going to tip anyway, but a good tip. At the end, you probably saw what I did, Chris. At the end, I colored up. I had $26 in reds and whites, and I just threw them out there. I was holding them in my hand. I just threw the 26 out. I probably tipped well over $100 during the day, and then I threw that out there to make an even number to go up to cash out at the cage. So with that said, anybody else want to have a comment about this before we move on? Dylan, how about you?
I can't remember where, Jeff, but recently back, I saw somebody talk about tipping the dealers and that, and they said, hey, if they're not winning, they're not getting tips. If you're at a winning session, then obviously be a little more free with the tips. And it is service-based. The better they do, the better they should be rewarded. But if I'm losing money, I'm going there to make money. If I'm losing money, I'm probably not going to tip nearly as much as if I was winning. So, and you guys had a winning session last week, so that should be expected.
Well, I tip regardless. Even if I have a losing session, I might not tip as much, but I do tip. I always put $1 up when I'm shooting. It's not a lot of money, but if it's $1 and I put $1 behind and make the point, and they're exchanging it now, let's say it pays 4, I take a red and give them the red, and I take the 4 whites back, and they seem to like that. Dylan, what's your experience?
Well, I haven't had really too many bad experiences with dealers. There's only been really one time that I had a really bad experience, but it was really frustrating. I was working on the come out, and I had like 154 out there working, and then the 7 came, and then I threw out another 154 and threw another 7 back to back, and then I did it for a 3rd time, and then I think I went to 300, and I lost that as well. And what was aggravating was that there was the stick person, not the stick person, but the dealer on, not my personal dealer, but on the other side. They were just laughing, and they were just laughing, but they were pretending not to be laughing at me per se, but they were laughing and cutting out and making jokes with themselves, and they had their own banter going and talking between themselves, because they knew that I was frustrated as hell, and I was pissed, and I was pissed at myself, and I was just pissed at the situation, and but to have an opposite dealer, just sitting there, chuckling and laughing, and it's like I looked at him, and I looked at the box person. I didn't say nothing. And I looked at him again, and I never said anything. And then I looked at my dealer and just shook my head, and they quit they were actually laughing as a group, but and then my dealer stopped. because I do tip as I'm playing. And I'll do, I'll put, if I'm doing 154, then I'll put, I can put, $12 out there for the dealers, inside, $3, $3, $3, $3. And then I control the bet, or piggyback, however you want to say it. And so, player control. So, but, that was the only time that, that was really kind of aggravating is when they were bantering back and forth, and they cooled their they cooled their jets a little bit, but it was disconcerting when something goes wrong, and then you feel that extra pressure, and it's a little extra twist of the psychological knife, that I didn't really appreciate. But like I said, I kept a cool, calm demeanor. Like I said, I looked at the other dealer that was laughing. I looked at the box person. Then I looked at my dealer, and they quit. They quit the banters. Um, and they knew, but I knew that it really wasn't directed at me. So that's why I was like, you know, I gotta keep myself in control, gotta keep myself in check. Stuff happens, move on. So that was the only bad time ever that I've had with quote unquote dealers. Other, I can't really think, and so their banter, uh, 99.9% of the time has never bothered me, and usually it's not usually they don't do it a lot, and like I said, when I tip while I'm playing, and so that does help me with my personal dealer that I'm dealing with, not the sticker or the box person or whatever, but that's been my experience. So I really haven't had, I don't let things bother me. I really don't let things bother me, and I keep a cool, calm demeanor. Um, I have my, um, I have my money management, I have my discipline, and I stay the course, or I pivot. So I'm in control of myself. I maintain control of myself. I don't drink. I don't do any of that to to uh, to uh, to get hot headed or get on tilt. So I don't tilt easy. I don't tilt easy. But when when I in that one instance, it's like you just have to take a deep breath. When you lose the 154 and then another come out, you're working, and then another 154 and then another 300. It's like, really, really. But you just gotta take it all in stride, and then just take a deep breath, and it does happen. Nothing guaranteed. You got to tell yourself that. You got to tell yourself that, and you got to tell yourself that, and you just move on. And you just take a deep breath. It's not the end of the world. And you either walk away, or depending on how big your bankroll is. I was able to sustain that, and still play. But if that was super devastating to me, and thank God it wasn't. Thank God it wasn't. But if it was super devastating to me psychologically, then I could still walk away and know that there's another time, there's another place, the casino's open 24/7. I can come back another day, and attack it another time. So it's not
All
the
right.
end of the world. So it's just your mindset. You got to have a proper mindset.
All right, we're going to end this topic with this comment here that East Coast put up here, and he just says the best dealers, in my opinion, are the same as an umpire the next day. When you ask, no one knows who they were the next day. So basically, I think I understand what he's saying, but from a standpoint of us locally, we know when to go daytime and when to go nighttime at our locals, because it just seems like you have the same shifts that are working, and the only time they overlap is on busy days, busy weekends. We live in a resort area of Maryland, So we do get a lot of resort influx. You know, where I live, it goes from a year-round population of about 60,000 in one city to 450,000. And when you add in the coastal areas, we're about 1 million people on weekends between Maryland and Delaware and Virginia that's here. And all these people are traveling to the casino. So we're going to go ahead and jump off of that. And from a standpoint of a question, I don't have another question that's in there. So if somebody has a question you'd like to ask of the panel, go ahead. There was a comment that was made to me earlier in the week through a text chat that I had going on with one of my subscribers. And I think he's probably going to ask John tomorrow during CRAPS. He would like to know, since we met up last Sunday here on the East Coast, is there somebody that we could coordinate these meetups? Now, I know Big AZ's got one coming up in October because he's got his Blue Wrench crew, and he is promoting those guys to go out there, and I'm hoping to be able to go out there with them. I know that Jeremy over at Color Up, he has DiceCon coming up, and we actually heard Jeremy, when he was on the show a month ago, say that this is successful. They may shift around the country and visit other places. Plus, he had a CRAPS show that was in the works, TV production style show, so it's hard to tell what's going to come with that. So from a standpoint of meetups, I know, Chris, you enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. You know, let's start with Arnell, in your area where you go. I take it or did you say you're close to a casino, or do you have to drive a little ways? I know that Joe's a little ways away, but what do you do, Arnell?
I got about a dozen casinos within 2 hours from me, but I usually just go to the ones that are really close, you know, that's like 10, 15 minutes away.
Do you ever get together with not just the people that you play with online, I mean, locally, but like on the ones that you play with on Live Fantasy Craps? Does anybody come in, and have you met any of the people that you play with? Have you ever planned to meet up like that at one of your locals?
Not at any of my locals, but I have met some of the guys played out in actually met up in Atlantic City last year, and also met some guys in southern Indiana, you know, for a meetup. They're actually planning another meetup for Indiana in June 7th. I believe that's like a Tuesday, so that's like during the week. So hopefully get the tables, you know, while it's empty. But I hear Bill Collins is invited to go to that one, so I'm interested to go to that one and play with, you know, a legend.
All right. Well, I do know that there are several forums that you can see meetups. If you're a Color Up Club member, you can subscribe to that, and you can see there's a mess of meetups. He breaks it down into jurisdictions throughout the country. We have an AC meetup coming up here with a couple local players that is going to be in my area. I shouldn't say AC, I should say Ocean City. That's in my area. That's coming up in July. A gentleman coming up from either Virginia Beach or somewhere just across the line in North Carolina. One guy coming from the D.C. Baltimore metropolitan area. We're going to meet down there. I'd have to go back and see it. And that was in the Color Up. And I know the Discord channel for the Casino Gaming TV Network, which is where we're streaming today. If you guys aren't on the Discord, it's in the description below. Go to the description of this video. Go where it says casinogaming.tv. If you click that, it'll take you right into the Discord. You can join that. I think we're up to almost 80 people in that. Which John was on, he will tell us a little bit more about the Discord. But there's a lot of heads-up chat going on in that too. So there's a meetup section there as well. And I think that, you know, from a meetup standpoint, I would like to meet, you know, almost everybody I have an opportunity to play here. I'm hopefully here in the near future, I'm going to have the ability to travel more. Just have to find somebody to watch my dog who's laying at my feet right here while I'm gone. But I enjoy the meetup. So, Joe, you're in Wisconsin. How far do you have to travel?
The nearest casino for me is about an hour drive. It's Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm kind of halfway between Green Bay and Milwaukee, so Milwaukee's about an hour and a half. I know I'm a couple hours north of Arnell, and I've talked or mentioned in the past about meeting up with him a couple times, but we've not been able to connect at all. And then I have a couple that are like 2-3 hours away, so everything's a little bit of a drive for me. I'm under time constraints because I do a lot of work as well, besides my CRAPS YouTube videos and all that stuff. So,
you want to give a promotion of your little T-shirt you got on there with the wrestling with your son?
That was for my son this year. He made it to the state tournament as a heavyweight, and he took 5th place. He was ranked between 3rd and 4th place the entire year. Finished the record or season off with a 45-6 record this year as a senior.
Congratulations! Awesome, awesome. All right, Churro, how about you? How about would you enjoy going with meetups, or do you plan on at some point when you can have one with your subscribers? I mean, what area are you from again? I'm sorry.
Well, Missouri. That's why it's mid-mo, yo. But hey. But yeah, I mean, I would love to. I've played with a bunch of friends before, but meeting up with the craps community would be amazing, as well as subs, which would be even better. Actually, I think that would be a lot of fun. Those are the people that are actually putting the time out, watching the things that I'm putting out. I actually just found out probably about a week ago. I don't know if anybody's seen that show on Netflix, Ozarks. That show is really like about a half an hour. It's based off of a place about a half an hour away from me. It's called Lake of the Ozarks. And I just found out that they're building a casino out there, which is about a half an hour away from me. So I cannot wait till that happens. That'll be a lot of fun.
In the Ozarks?
All right.
Hopefully they got a craps table.
Yeah, no kidding.
You can go see Marty and see how they do things.
Marty Bird, yeah, I know. That's what they've already got a bar called the Marty Bird Bar out there.
Awesome.
I actually like that show, the Ozarks. Looking forward to the next season coming out. All right, so let's see, Chris. I know you've been involved in a meetup. In the video you did on our trip report, you actually encouraged some of your subscribers to get in contact with you and plan something. Philadelphia ride for me is just about 2 hours. So I played at the parks before here recently. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I loved going to Atlantic City and meeting everyone. Luckily, Atlantic City is only about an hour and change from me, so it's not too far. I have about 4 or 5 casinos that I can drive to within about 45 minutes. Parks is only like 10 minutes from me. So pretty fortunate there. But in that video, I did tell people that I want them to come and play with me, and we can figure out, the details and stuff. And I had about 6 subscribers already reach out to me asking to post when I'm going to be at the casino, things like that. So I'm going to be more active. I have an Instagram for Dice Degen, so I'm going to be a little bit more active on there, posting where I'll be. And then I'll try to mention it in my videos as well. Sometimes the casino trips happen almost spur of the moment. Sometimes I'm going there for a mission. I don't want to meet up with anybody, but I will try to, be a little bit more vocal with when I am going. But I think it would be great. I really enjoyed going to Atlantic City. It is a different style of play for me personally anyway. I was there to have fun and to meet everyone. The winnings would be nice if they came, which they did, which was nice. But I wasn't there to win money. When I normally go to the casino, it's to win money. So it's a little different of a mentality, but I really enjoyed it. So definitely looking to meet up with some subscribers. Once I finish, Jeff, I coach now. So my schedule is very, very busy between work and coaching. So once I finish coaching, I plan on doing some more casino trips. And I have a few subscribers in New York who want to meet up. So I'm going to post a date there and pick a casino in New York and meet up with them. But I really enjoyed it, and I think it's great for the craps community. It's really nice to be able to meet people, and especially because we share a common interest and a common mindset, which is really nice. So I really enjoyed it, and I would encourage everyone who has the opportunity to be able to do something like this to certainly do it. And for those who are watching, if you do want to meet us in person, I'll speak for myself anyway. You can drop me an email or a DM on Instagram, and I will do my best to set something up.
All right.
I agree, Chris.
All right. So, anybody else want to chime in on that as well? Anybody? All right.
My local is right in Center City. It's downtown, so it's about a 15, 20-minute drive depending on traffic. That's why a go every day plan can actually work for me because I don't have to spend $30, $40 in gas money to get to my casino. But there are 4 here in Ohio. I've been to two other ones outside. Both of them are Hollywood, one in Columbus, one in Toledo. They're both pretty decent, but I don't make trips to them often. Usually I just go to my home casinos. Like I said, it's about 20 minutes away. It's quick. Go in there and make a little profit and get on up out. Or take a short loss and get on out. Whatever it's going to be for that day.
All right. All right. Dylan, how about you?
Well, I live here in St. Louis. If y'all didn't recall that. So I've got plenty of casinos around here that I go to, but I have my favorite, which is the Casino Queen, based out of East St. Louis, and they treat me really well, and I really just I really like their tables. And they used to be 5, now they're 10 and sometimes 15, but um, but I go to my local, hangout and hideout and do fairly well there. So I've never, I wouldn't mind meeting subscribers and meeting y'all, or having a big, big invite, region wise where, like Jeremy does, is thinking about doing different things in different locations across the country. I think that would be cool, having a Midwest stuff like we could do like different trips going down the interstate, down I-70, from Cincinnati, in that area, Cincinnati, Ohio, and then coming back down 70. I can see the next meetup monthly, maybe monthly or bi-monthly, and then going to Indianapolis or something, so in that area, and then hitting St. Louis, and then from there hitting Kansas City, and then from Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas, and then from there you've got if you keep going, you can either go out towards Denver, Colorado, or you can go down into Oklahoma, where the Indian reservations are. So I can see this, it branching out in different areas and all over, and just have different. That way, people can can know, and if we market it right, then it could be a rotating thing. But I see that as a big possibility for future, for future things that are more than possible.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. I will let you know. I know that Arnell mentioned something about they had a meetup in Atlantic City last year. Ted Berry from Midnight Train 66, that's his screen name, also his Skype name in the Craps Nation. He's planning, I believe, a February meetup again next year in Atlantic City. We'll announce that more. That's closer for me. I would like to see Jeremy color up once he gets successful with his first DiceCon, maybe to travel east, west, mid somewhere, do that. I don't know whether he has the means to do that, or I know he's got the subscribers and probably enough to make that happen. It would be nice that happens. I look forward to coming out to St. Louis, Dylan, here in a few months and meeting you, and actually probably going to give Joy a hug, because when I talked to her last Sunday, she needed one when you were down, but I'm going to come out and see you. I would like to go down to Biloxi with both Waylon and Ray from Power Press Clips, who's not with us tonight. So I do plan on doing some traveling. I do have to go down to Florida, and Fives isn't on tonight, but I want to get down there and see Greg. I know that the gambling is limited down there. I also want to get down there with Mark Kilboy and see him. So I've got a lot of plans to travel, but somebody just asked me about these meetups after we had this meetup the last time, and basically it was planned because John announced it on ProCraps for a while. I had a couple emails that said, hey, I wish I'd known you were away. I'm an hour away. I could have came over, but You know, this was, it was planned, but I thought people were keeping track of it in the chat. And so when we're talking about it on our channels, we should say, hey, we're planning on, you know, going, I'm going to be here today, that is if you want company, and maybe having a plan, because I think Chris will attest to the fact that afterwards, he didn't get to stick around to stay, but we went and Ted took us into, I forgot what the room's called, if you're a Caesar's Reward top tier, you get this to go in this thing, and Ted took us in there. We had a free meal, and Mike and his family were at a different table, but we sat there. Mike got a kitchen pass to come sit at our table, and we just talked. We talked for an hour. We played craps for 4 hours, and we probably talked for about another hour or two. So the question out here, I'm going to just go ahead and put this up on the chat. Somebody can answer what is the best casino in Biloxi. And we're heading on the 2-hour break, guys. And I just looked over. We're dropping some subscribers, some viewers here. So we're going to probably end the Easter episode early. I just want to give you a little shot of something from. Somebody can put that in the chat. Something behind the scenes. The audio might drop off, but guys, this is what it looks like behind the scenes. I just real quick just took 2 pictures. When I switched off of this screen here, I took my camera and took a couple pictures here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like behind the scenes here. This is me just a few seconds ago. You can see that I was, you know, just behind me, the screen, you see behind my, I guess it's my right side of the head, that's my 32-inch monitor. Then I have my computer. I have an ATM Mini Pro. You see a microphone and a camera. The microphone that's above my head is not the microphone I'm using. I'm wearing a lapel mic. And then the camera that you see there is the camera that I am using. My table would be directly across from that monitor, a little bit behind the scenes. And then if I go to this next picture, there she is. She's sitting on the floor, patiently waiting for me to take her out. She is one of the best dogs. She's laid her head down now, but that is what it kind of looks like there. So I'm just seeing what happened here. Waylon saying, "Come on down, Jeff. We'll have a blast, brother." And somebody answer Chris Young's question. If you're from Biloxi, or if you know, I know Ed's left. If you could get there, Ike, you are joining us late because we're actually going to end this episode probably a little on the early side. Welcome aboard. The replay will come back up, and you can see all the chats there. But that's a little behind the scenes, guys, of what goes on here. This is our 8th episode. Actually, it's our 9th for Dylan and I. We did a test run in December. We started this up in January. We've had some hiccups so far tonight. My Zoom hasn't locked up. I've had no audio problems. The only person with an audio problem was Dylan before we got started, and everything has worked. It's Easter. We've had 9 panelists on. We've had, I can't look at the chat group right now. We've had almost 400 chats today. It's a little low, but you know, we've had as high a viewership as many as 39 at one given point. So it's a mediocre craps chat. And guys, in order to make this show better, not only do we need these YouTube content providers that are on the screen with you right now, we also need you, the viewer. We need the Chris Youngs, and we need the Ikes. And Jay, please come back and join us. Waylon needs to come on the show. You don't have to show your face. You can just use your voice. I'm kind of going back through this. There was a person here, Gypsy. I'm not sure who that is. Is that anybody that's on the screen here that's using Gypsy as a login? They came on and went off. They asked about AC meetups. You know, Arnell, you're in the middle of the country there, so you know we're looking at all these people. Dice Doctor, you guys can come on the show. Ken from No Shoes, come on the show. I would welcome Brian from Hawaii Crap Shooters. He came on my show a while back when I was doing a challenge, and he came on and rolled this system that it was either going to win big or lose big, and well, we'll just say that he didn't win the challenge. And so, you know, to make this further out to go, Dylan and I have talked, and this is the last question I'm going to ask tonight. We've talked about maybe in the summer to cutting this down to once a month versus twice a month. If you'd like to continue twice a month, you know, shoot me an email, put it in the comments, let us know that you want to continue with this. We've gone 2 hours at least on every show. This show is going to end early. Our longest show was 3 hours and 13 minutes. So you can see that there's a lot that goes into the show, but we want more people to come on the show. I appreciate Ed jumping on and jumping off, and Chris jumping on and jumping off, and we've got several people that are here. So with that said, I'm going to go back to the panelists, let them have a final word, and we're going to get out of here on a Easter Sunday. I thank each and every one of you. I'll be back to give the closing words in just a little bit. So before you guys start jumping off, let's give our panelists an opportunity to have some words here, and let's go in order. Let's take it from left to right. Now that might shift around, so we're going to go over here to Churro, Midmo, Yo. Anything you'd like to say before we end this show tonight? Oops, kind of switched around on you there.
This was my first time on here, and it's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. It's I'm not familiar with the whole Zoom thing. I think this is only my second time doing a Zoom thing, so this was a lot of fun, and it worked out really well. So kudos to you guys setting it all up. I just wanted to say thank you. I mean, I've had so much fun being part of this community, and everybody giving their 2 cents, because I'm asking for it, on either my videos or my strategies. So it's been a lot of fun. I plan on doing more. I've got my book next to me of different strategies that I'm going to be working on. So there'll be plenty more on my end to come back out. So thank you all. I really do appreciate it, and happy Easter.
All right, so with that, Churro, happy Easter to you. I'll make a comment. This that you saw me put up on the screen a minute ago with all the software, what John uses over at CRAPS, what Arnell uses, and what I use are 3 different topics. John and I use a system that allows us to bring guests in without Zoom. So when I do my, I have a group that's called the Hybrid Hunters. I bring them in on a different way than Zoom and Skype. It's a better connection. It's how Dylan is dialed in here tonight. Dialed in. Okay, nobody got that joke. Anyway, boom, there's a joke. He's in a different way. So Arnell, I believe you probably use StreamYards. Is that correct?
Yeah, I use StreamYards and OBS.
Okay, OBS and StreamYards, and the StreamYards is really neat because it allows him to bring in guests without having to go out to Skype or Zoom. Is that correct, Arnell?
Yeah, it actually helps me out more because bandwidth. You know, I don't have the bandwidth, you know, to hold the Skype, like audio and everything, and put it into OBS. I tried, and it wasn't working out. So I found StreamYard is better for me because it's you know, browser based. So I'm not actually hosting the video or audio.
Yep. All
which,
yours is in the cloud.
Might work out for guys that are looking to do YouTube and stuff like that. They do have a free version of it where it allows like 6, you could have 6 guests, I think. I'm paying for it, so I could have up to 10 guests.
Yep, and the same with me. I switched from OBS. I am an OBS user. I use it with 2 other nonprofits that I do things with, and I do some production. I'm using a product that's called vMix. It's a window-based product, vMix, and I actually run control events for people all over the country from this console that you just saw. I'm controlling their point to tilt zoom cameras. I'm controlling their audio. I'm controlling their feeds from their PC back to my PC through an NDI connection. So it's really sophisticated software. I do pay it by the year. I don't pay a monthly subscription. And then there's Ecamm. Chris, you just got Ecamm. John uses Ecamm. It's an iOS platform. But guys, if you really want to stream, just like Arnell just said, OBS is free. It's free. Did I say it's free? And they've got so many plugins to help you do things. If you ever watch George over at CY, you see his angles and his effects. The roll tracker's something different, but OBS is free. You know, you guys can do an awful lot with your live events. So since Churro mentioned that, I'm going to continue with talking. Joe, you're up next. Any closing words here?
Just want to say thanks. Happy Easter to everybody. Jeff, Dylan, you guys are awesome for offering the show, hosting the show, bringing us all on. I want to give a little self-plug. I'll be airing a video tomorrow. I'm coming out with my own strategy finally. So I'm going to ask everybody to give me their words, give me their critiques. Let's see if we can make this strategy that would be very viable to bring to the casino and make it very profitable. But happy Easter, everybody. Thank you very much.
All right. Arnell, you're next, since somehow somebody got shifted around there. You had the stage a minute ago talking about StreamYards, but any closing words tonight?
Oh yeah, just want to say happy Easter to everybody. You know, and look forward to meeting up with all of you. You know, at some point, you know, hitting the tables. You know, that would be great. You know, I played with some of you, or you know, some of you in the community, and you know, I look forward to playing with people I haven't played with, but I see online or chatting and stuff like that. That's always like my goal. Just to meet up and hang out and play craps with everybody.
All right. Well, I welcome you onto the show tonight. Please come back and visit us. As you can see, your input was greatly appreciated. If you were watching the chat, I think you were. Some people were chatting about everything that somebody had to say. If you have people that are subscribers and viewers, I know Chris had encouraged in a couple of his videos for people to come on and watch the show and participate in the show. I'll say it again, you don't have to show your face. I have a radio voice, the voice. I don't have a TV face, but you don't have to show that. So with that said, let's move on over here to Chris Dice Degen. Are you in the Degen dungeon today?
I am in a part of the Degen dungeon. This is the tranquil spot with the palm trees, and this is where I come after a losing session in the Degen dungeon. But the dungeon is the next room over there. I can flip camera around. That door over there is
nice.
the Degen dungeon.
Nice.
And I really appreciate Jeff and Dylan for hosting this. It was fun to be on, and happy Easter to everyone. And really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to more to come. I will continue to plug it on my channel when the video dates are released, because I do want more people to come. I think it is very nice to have an opportunity to interact with everybody, and I know subscribers enjoy things like that, so it's a great platform. Great work to Jeff for putting it on, Dylan for being one of the hosts, and then everyone who joins the panel. So thank you very much, and happy Easter, everyone.
All right, thank you. And look, Buckeye, you're the last. We saved the best of the last of the panelists for you, my friend.
Well,
Buckeye.
It has, as always, been a pleasure being here with you gentlemen tonight. Dylan, I'm glad to see you making a speedy recovery, and I'm glad to hear about your progress, man. Stay with it and stay strong. Arnell, I'm looking forward to getting involved in Fantasy Craps one Wednesday night. Joe, I'm looking forward to seeing the new strategy that you got coming out soon. Let's see, who else we got? Okay, well, it looks like Chris was here. Okay, yeah, he's still here.
Yeah, he's still here.
Chris, Dice Degen, stay cool as ice over there on them dice, man. I like how you run your channel. I like how you present, man. You keep doing your thing. And Chiro, Midmo, yo, when I make my trip through Missouri to go to Vegas, man, on the road, we're going to have to meet up at Isle of Capri or something like that and get it in.
Let's do it.
I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, man. Y'all kind of kicked off an idea for me, so I might be putting this in the works in the next few months or so, but I might try to put together a bus trip where we all meet at one casino and catch a bus all the way through Ohio down through all 4 casinos, man. Because y'all just kind of kicked that idea off in my head. It just sparked while y'all was talking about doing meetups in different parts of the country. So we can do it in everybody's state. I'll try to set up the first one within the next 6 months or so. And if the first one goes well, man, we can make it a regular thing amongst the community. But Jeff, as I said the other day, all hail the king. I'm looking forward to our rematch, though. Be looking forward to it as well, because I'm going to come at you strong just like I did the first time. I got some other tricks up my sleeve. I'm going to dig deep in my bag for this one.
Well, I really thought you were going to be out in round 2. You made
my bad. And happy Easter to everyone.
Yep. Thank you. In round 2 at the Heads Up the other night, guys, really why I'm playing is he put the challenge out there. Only one other person spoke up at the last minute. Chris and John had everything set up for the Heads Up Friday night match. That's going to be somewhere between 9 and 11 Eastern every Friday night. I know John has other plans for other types of games beside craps to come out on Friday night blank, Friday night blackjack, Friday night roulette, Friday night craps. It's Heads Up. But I'm just doing it. Basically, I played it and I've ran it, and I'm going to box it. So, really, I got lucky there, Buckeye. But really, that comeback that you did really surprised me, and I started worrying that he's really going to come back and he's going to throw that Hail Mary at the end and put it all in the field or somewhere and come back with a big win. But we had fun, guys. So Friday night fights is CRAPS is hosted by a slew of content providers. I didn't host it this last time. Chris at Sideshow Gamble, who was here earlier, he hosted it. Buckeye and I were the contestants, and John was the referee or the box person. That's the way we're going to do it. We have hopes that Chris from Dice Degen will also host a couple of those when he gets his software squared away. And then we'll have opponents, and we'll have a box person for the rules and everything. It was a lot of fun. I think we're narrowing that down. Go to the Discord channel, put your comments in there on the heads up. Watch John's Coffee and Craps weekdays 11 Eastern and 8 Pacific on the Casino Gaming TV channel right here. And with that said, I'm going to head over to my co-host and the creator of Craps Chat, Dylan. What is your final closing words?
Well, happy Easter to everyone. Thank you very much for joining this episode. Without you guys, our show is really nothing. But there was the last question that we had. How many? I know there's 3 casinos in Biloxi, but I don't know. One is called the IC. I can't really remember the other 2. But I know that there are at least 3 casinos in Biloxi for sure. It's been a while since I've been in that area. So, but I know there's 3 in Biloxi for sure. But I want to answer that real quick. But I can't say which one's the best. You just gotta hunt through at least those 3. Anyway, I wanted to say thank you for, thanks to everyone that participated. Love you all. I can't wait to see your new strategy and coming out, Joe. And Midmo Yo, can't wait to see some of the new things that you're going to do. And, Buckeye, there's Buckeye. I mean, everybody loves Buckeye. He's really super cool. Chris, love your channel. Love everything you do, dude. You're a new shining star, and love everything you're doing, dude. Appreciate you so much. And Arnell, what can we say about Arnell? Arnell is a superstar. I mean, really, he doesn't get enough credit for what he does. He's one of the founding forces out there. So please, support his channel. A huge shout out to Arnell. Hopefully, I don't want to add more to his plate, but hopefully maybe he'll want to also, referee some of the King of the Mountain stuff as well, which is going to be a huge fun for everyone. I know that that's going to catch on fire. It was fun playing Temporary King for a little bit, and the format, the 3-way format of the King of the Mountain is unique, special, different, and makes you put your thinking cap on, and it's great fun. So I know it's going to catch on fire. So I'm looking forward to that. And so I want to thank everyone again for all their well wishes and prayers and for me. I appreciate everything that the Crafts community has done for me and my family. Thanks you from the bottom of my heart. And I'm doing good and I'm doing well. And I'm on the right road. And I'm just keeping on going. So thank you very much for everything. And again, happy Easter, everyone. And we'll see you next time right here at Craps Chat.
All right, Dylan, I appreciate that. I'm going to go real quick around and mention everybody's channel that's on here. Buckeye, I'm going to start with you. Your channel is 300 plus, what is the name?
300 plus club.
Okay, 300 Plus Club is Buckeye's channel, a new channel out. Dice Grinders. If you're not on Arnell's channel, you need to go to Dice Grinders and subscribe. Go watch Wednesday night. It's 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm not sure what time it would be where Arnell is, but it's 8 o'clock Eastern. You heard how many he can host. He puts it out in 2 chat forums, one in the Discord, one in the Crap Station group. But I'm sure you could find information out if you wanted to play with Arnell. I know that typically he's got the regulars, but I have seen some other people on there. So Arnell, Dice Grinders. Joe, Craps Master Journey. Thank you for coming on today. Thank you for coming on so early. You helped me test the audio connection that I that I've been having so many problems with here. And Midmo Yo, Churro, to you, my hat, because you're wearing one. See, I got No hair. My hat's off to you. I'm glad that you came on today. I thank you for that. Chris Dice Dejan, I can't wait to see you again and play with you again. And may we have as long as rolls as we did the last time that we played together. Thank you to that. Also, so we have the 300 Plus Club, Dice Grinders, Craps Master Journey, Midmo Yo, and Dice Dejan on the panel today. We also had Ed from Roll to Win. And I know that we had Vince came in and went out. Vince Armetti came in and out, but he didn't stay in. And I think we had one other person that came in. Oh, Mike from On Point was on tonight as well. And Skill and Luck has his own channel too, Skill and Luck Craps, and his son has been redoing some of his videos, and they're coming out on a regular basis. So give every one of these a subscribe, and when you see their videos, guys, click the thumbs up. If you watch the whole thing, or a lot of people, they make fun of me, they put it on fast forward, and I talk faster than I do now, and they get a big kick out of it. But click the like and the thumbs up, because it helps our channels, the YouTube algorithm, it helps our channels gets displayed to other people outside of our community on a more regular basis. So with that said, guys, on behalf of me, to everybody at home watching, or on the replay tomorrow, or whenever, I wish you the best of Easter. I hope you had one, whatever you're celebrating this year. A happy Easter to you. On behalf of the panelists, my creator, sidekick, Dylan, I'm so glad that you're able to be on the show tonight. I wish you the best next Friday on your procedure. I will be talking to Joy or you after the procedure is over with. And here's to a speedy recovery so you can get back to work, my friend. Until next time, guys, we're going to be back in 2 weeks. Give it some thought as to whether or not you want to go to once every month during the summer and then come back it up in the fall with every 2 weeks. We need to know something here. On behalf of everybody, I'm going to end it the way I normally end all my videos, guys. As always, please be safe. Oh, before I finish this, guys in the panel, everybody stay online just 1 second and we're going to chat, so give me about 15 seconds to get out. On behalf of everybody, guys, here we go. This is Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps. As always, be safe and play smart.